My name is Piputo. I'm going to talk about the political and economical structure of the China. China is one of the most populous countries in the world. PRC, also known as the Republic of the China, is the fourth largest country in the world and 1.3 billion citizens. In 2010, China became the world's largest country in the world, and 20% of all China exports go to the US. Well, folk greeting means encompassing two related but separate subjects. Chinese people celebrate this ceremony for a new business step. They offer joystick to their dynasty to make the business successful. Another thing is the networking, known as the guanxi. Chinese people has own networking cycle and trust and relationships are important for making the deal rather than strictly go into the business directly. Practices such as gift giving at a special occasion are very common in today's business environment and serve the important function of honoring a potential business partner. When we look at the history, over 6,000 years ago, China was the empire and governed by a series of the dynasty. The first dynasty was Qin, which emerged around 2100 BC. After that, Qin dynasty was appeared and governed by the Qin Shi Yuan, which is about lasted only 15 years because of the strict policy. Chinese economy, technology, and culture entered a golden age during Tang and Song dynasty. The Qin dynasty was the last dynasty who experienced the Western imperialism following First Opium War and Second Opium War. After that, the last Chinese empire collapsed. In 1912, Sun Yat-sen of the Kuomintang or Nationalist Party established the Republic of the China. But in 1949, Sun Yat-sen's political faction retreated and Mao Zedong emerged victorious and replaced the Republic of China with People's Republic of China. Political structure of the China is a single state party and governed by the Communist Party of China. The country is ruled under the leadership of the Communist Party of China (CPC). Political structure of the China, the public elects and appoints the township congress. They then elect the township government. The same goes for the country congress and country government. And the country congress and government appoints the municipal congress. It appoints the municipal government and as well as the provincial congress. It then appoints the provincial governments. This makes the local government and legislature. Provincial government also appoints the National People Congress or NPC, and then NPC appoints the State Committee and therefore makes the legislature of the government. NPC also appoints the Supreme People Procuratory and Supreme People Court, which makes the judiciary of the structure. NPC is also in charge or appointing a premier, which is the head of the government. Premier then nominates the members in the State Council and NPC also officially appoints them. Allowing Study Committee, the three parts make the government structure of the China. National People Congress also elects the president, but president is the ceremony of the office only. The real power lies within the Communist Party. The board of the party is the NPC, which elects the Central Committee. They elect Politic Bureau as well as the Politic Bureau Standing Committee and General Secretary. General Secretary holds the ultimate power and authority over the state and the government. China was a Soviet-style centrally planned economy until late 1978, but after Mao Zedong's death, Deng Xiaoping reformed the economy and moved toward more market-oriented mixed economy under one party. China economy reform was led by the Deng Xiaoping. There are two stages. The first stage between 1970 to 1980 involved decollectivization of the agriculture, the opening of the country to foreign investment, and permission of the entrepreneur to start up the business. The second stage is ranged between 1980 to 1990. This stage involved privatization and contracting of the mass state-owned industry, lifting of the price control, protection policies, and regulations. China is the second largest economy in the world. This diagram describes the economic sector of the China according to the GDP. Agricultural sector contributes around 10% of the China GDP. It includes rice, wheat, tobacco, and fish. China ranked worldwide in industrial output. It accounts for 44.9%. Major industries include mining, oil processing, iron, steel, textile, petroleum, cement, automobiles, and cars. While industry produces 45.2% of the annual GDP, wholesale and retail trade expanded. Public administration remains a main component of the service sector. When we look at the economic structure of the China, it has three layers. The first tier of the economic structure includes industry, which are vital to the national security. It includes nuclear power set, petrol, mining, iron, steel, textile, telecommunications, cement, automobile and cars, and banks. They are controlled by State or Asset Supervision and Administration Commission. Government has the power to control this industry because manager of the large firms are appointed by the Chinese Communist Party. Well, the second layer consists of the medium-sized firms that exist in the competitive market. Well, the third layer includes the small-scale sector firms, mostly town-village enterprises that have been privatized. They have relatively low tech with little government intervention. The bars show the inflation rate of the China during the recent years. Chinese inflation rate has been steady and it is currently around 1.6%. Chinese unemployment rate is 4.5%. It is not a big issue compared to the other countries like USA or UK. When we look at the leadership style, strong leadership is a key concept in China. There is a big change since the communism. 1994, Communist law appeared. It defined decision power in the communists, but it failed to eliminate the government interference. New entities in the business environment include shareholders, board of the managers, enterprise manager, and board of the supervisor. Where this budget describes the degree of the decision-making power in order. Board of the director has the higher decision-making power, although CCP branch unit, also known as the Chinese Communist Party branch units, position in the lowest level, it still affects the decision making. There are some people who still practice the traditional leadership, which includes paternalistic, explorative, and autocratic. It is a top-down approach and little feedback to the employers. More than 50% of the Chinese managers are inadequately prepared for global business environment, and they have a narrow focus on certain leadership qualities. These have a negative impact on the interpersonal relationship with multinational companies. But these traditional practices began changing. Most of the Chinese CEOs nowadays have a great sense of social responsibility. They have the continuous self-improvement and they intend to build the win-win situation for both partners. New generation of the leader became more individualistic and less influent on professionalism. And their lack of good leadership in China also improved by looking for the opportunities with the international company who have a good leadership skills. After Mao Zedong's death, Deng Xiaoping practiced the open door policy for international trade and foreign investment. Well, he introduced the new types of wage system, piece wage system, structural wage system, and bonus wage system to replace the fixed wage system and lifetime policy of the people. They give the incentives to the worker to activate the worker performance. They give trainee, performance appraisal, promotion, and financial rewards to inspire the worker and to activate the economy more productive and successful. Well, financial and banking system. Banks provide the private sector with credit amounting to about 1 to 8% of the GDP in 2012 compared to the 48% for USA. However, the fixed income or the bond market provided 41% of the China's GDP compared to the 2.3% of the US. But Chinese stock market has an aggregated market capitalization which is 44% of the domestic GDP in 2012. This contrasts with Western economies where the stock market is typically smaller than the bond market. Because the majority of the state market in China are owned by the government and investors do not have any influence on business decisions. The majority of the market share are occupied by the large commercial banks, including People Bank of China, ICBC, Bank of China, China Construction Bank, and Agricultural Bank of China. This picture shows the architecture of the China financial system. Banks are regulated primarily by CBRC, China Banking Regulatory Commission, CSRC, China Security Regulatory Commission, and CIRS, China Insurance Regulatory Commission. Chinese Central Bank, the People's Bank of China has important regulatory responsibilities in addition to managing the monetary policy. It is in charge of drafting regulatory bills managing financial stability. It also sets limits on the deposit interest rate and lending interest rate. Further, it controls the state administration of foreign exchange, which manages the exchange rate. However, both the exchange rate and the interest rate limits are largely decided at a higher level, ultimately by the State Council, the highest government body. And Ministry of Finance also touches on financial regulation through both its shareholding in the major commercial banks and its control over the Central Hanjin Company, through which it indirectly owns substantial stake in the commercial banks. While overall, Chinese banking and financial system is highly regulated and remain in the government hand, although banks have more autonomy. They also practice the monetary policy and also give the priority funding to state-owned enterprises. They also has the efficiency channels to transfer the fund from the government to the society. Chinese business ethics. It includes approach, which means Chinese business contacts are mostly referenced. Nowadays, it's common to contact with Chinese business directly. The second thing is always respect seniority. Seniority is very important to the Chinese, even giving presents should be according to the seniority. The third thing is the personal relationship. Chinese business relationship inevitably become social relationship after a while. The more you show, the closer you get to your business partner. And the fourth thing is the commitment. Chinese business people build a long-term goal objective when they do the business. And the final thing is the diplomacy is very important. Diplomacy means do not openly disagree with people. You have to strive for the diplomacy, consensus, and harmony. So this is the end of my presentation of the China.